Boom. Welcome to the Wild Bill, the underwater robberies, and the biggest phony show, the dumbest show on the internet. It's called Fishing for Answers. And thank you for tuning into the Hooks at Hoodlums YouTube featuring the biggest phony, also Wild Bill, and underwater robberies, Mr. Ken. Shout out Mr. Sam, 7-Eleven. Anyway. A lot of behind the scenes drama. Some of us are phonies. Anyway, what's that?
Keep going, dude.
Oh, brother. Anyway, we're gonna try to get Big Nasty on this goddamn show. I feel like we shouldn't give him another introduction. It's not his fault. But he's a Filipino cowboy.
This will be the third introduction.
It's the third or fourth. He's a Filipino cowboy. He's a fly fisherman. He's an all-around angler, but he's a fly fisherman. He'll bump you from your spot. I've eaten Chinese food in bed with him.
Right, dude. All right.
I send him a link. I made him start a new email address.
Did you hear Andrew? He goes, yeah, no kidding. When you said about the Chinese food.
No, I said all right.
And literally 2 casts, and then the second one snapped my rod. So I'm out here with Wild Bill from Hooks at Hoodlums, and yeah, we're fishing it up. What a beautiful day on the river. Couldn't ask for better. Come on, CT boys can't fish. Hooks at Hoodlums. Whoop, whoop.
I'm going to tell you something.
Let's hear it.
This better work. He leaves me on red also. I send him a text. It'll say red.
Does he answer?
No, it's fine because he always answers. I just sent him a text. I said, I'm going to send you the link in about 15 minutes and I'll text you once I send it. He said, okay. Now I just sent the link 2 seconds ago and I wrote, sent it to the new one. Doesn't say red. Oh. Red. He says, okay. So Ken grew up with Jeff, Big Nasty, today's guest on Fishing for Answers. Ken, what type of dude would you say Big Nasty was growing up?
I'd say same as now. Just solid dude. You know what I mean? Very loyal. He's friends with you. He's got your back type of thing. There he is.
There he is.
Let's go, dude. It says it's connecting to audio, so hold on. Can you
There
hear
it goes.
us?
You got him.
You there?
Yo.
Oh yeah. Well, Ken was just describing you as a very loyal second grader.
Well, considering I bit off Kenny Poyer's nose when I was in preschool.
We'll go right into the fucking drama.
Eddie Poyer just made a purchase. Edit it.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, dude. I pretty much.
Kenny Poirier,
cannibalized his
shout out your
face.
fucking nose, dude. We miss it, brother. Rest in peace to your motherfucking nose, Kenny.
No, I was telling these guys earlier, do you remember being locked in the closet in like 4th grade when you were a bad kid? They stacked that up.
Yeah. Yeah, with Mr. Oglebaum. Mr. Ogle. remember that? Me, John Mahalik.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh.
got locked in the closet,
I
dude.
love that it was John Mahalik because Ken told us he was in the closet.
Oh, there was a bunch of people. It's happening.
Sounds like it was Big
Mhm.
Nasty and John Mahalik, but I don't want to attack you.
Yeah, you do.
To be fair, I thought it was Miss Savage who did it. So who knows?
Oh, dude, Miss Savage was savage. That lady was like she was old and heavy and used to ride that motorcycle. Remember to school,
Oh,
bro?
you big biker woman.
Dude, she reminded me of like Kathy Bates, dude. Yeah, dude. Those are the days, man. That shit's funny, dude. You just brought back a lot of blasts from the past memories, man.
What year do you think it will be when Ken does?
By the time we're older, we'll probably be sleeping in hyperbolic chambers and shit. So we'll probably add on a couple 100 years.
True. And before we start the official questioning, did you and I eat Chinese food in bed together?
No, negative.
What?
Who's the liar now? Look at Andrew.
Wait, did we what?
Eat Chinese food in bed together.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. In a very drafty, creepy motel room in upstate New York, dude. I was, and the thing was, I wasn't afraid to sleep in my underwear because of Bill. I was afraid to sleep in my underwear because what will be coming through that shitty door? Who's gonna come and try to rape us?
There was two metal clasps with a hole in a
Oh my
in a
God.
hot Cheeto that went through it to lock the door.
Oh shit, dude.
Um,
That was a good time, though. That was a good time.
Hell yeah, it was a blast.
For-
Who takes a 5-hour ride for a day?
Well,
Sleeps in a
remember-
hotel.
When I was out west, when I was out in Colorado, when I stayed in Fort Collins, I would drive 3 hours all the way to the Dream Stream, fish for 10 hours, and then drive 3 hours back.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
it's
awesome,
dedication.
though.
It's dedication. You know it. Hey,
Yeah,
Andrew, you know it. You got to catch hogs, man. You got to do what you got to do, right?
that's it, brother.
You
See,
gotta
he
do what you
knows.
got to do.
He knows.
I was just gonna say, Jeff, not everybody's cut from the cloth like you and I, but I guess if we want to include Andrew in that, it's fine.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen,
before we start, I just want to tell Jeff, his biggest fan is my mother still to this day. She'll call me up. She'll be like, "Did you see the fish Jeff Holloway caught?" Gotta check out the feed a little bit more often. Ken.
Oh, that's
you know what?
awesome.
You hate
That's
to hear
awesome. I
it
love
because
it.
I'm her biggest fan.
Dude, he sniffed her
That's
sneakers.
awesome.
I went to the lake house. I caught him sniffing her sneakers on the porch.
Oh, was he like? It smells like smart food.
It was a sketcher.
Little boner.
It was a sketcher. I just wanted to see if how it was holding up.
Yeah. Oh shit!
And it was on video.
Yeah, I didn't know they had CCTV.
My
up
dad
there.
called me. Like, "Hey, what's that kid smelling mom's shoe for?"
Hey, mom wants to talk to him.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Oh wait, hold on, wait a minute. Wait. To be, I support my boy. You know,
There it is. Yep.
I even got a little woolly bugger hanging off of it there.
Let's go.
And Billy
All
had
right, so-
something hooked in his hat also. There's a hole in it.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'm a
and-
fucking fisherman, dude.
Yeah.
And it's a crankbait that got stuck in my head. Oh,
And speaking about crankbaits, I think yeah, Cody got me beat because if I've done 12 different types of drugs, he probably did 13 different types.
Oh,
of stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that dude is ratchet, man.
He's the best.
Holy shit.
yeah, he's the best. Shout out Lockwood.
Bro, I was almost like, I loved it because he's so funny. But honestly, dude, at first I thought, I'm like, yo, this is Hills Have Eyes right here, dude.
Yeah.
This is Wrong Turn. And then I'm like, I can't wait to go fish with him.
Yeah, he's the best. When we just recorded Bobby's roast beefs episode, there was a vision of him chasing Bobby through the woods. So Hills Have Eyes is a perfect scenario.
Hey, where you go, Cody comes up, man.
At big_nasty 186, big nasty. Are you ready to start these questions? Officially? All right.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Me too. Almost. I'm almost ready to go as well.
You like my shirt? That's no others, man. That's the bull. That's his balls.
Yeah, I love it. Some of us here are bigger fans of bull balls than others, but yeah, we're all on board. I'm a Taurus myself.
Oh shit! There you go.
All right, I'm starting the timer. Who's gonna start it off, by the way, before I hit start? Who's starting off the questions?
I'll go first.
All right, ready? Whenever you're ready, go ahead, Andrew.
All right. How many people actually watch all of your videos when you're scooping up shit outside and I'm there for an hour?
I'm
I
one
know,
of them.
I
Count
do.
me in there,
I
please.
Yeah.
do too.
I've watched you play
So-
with wrestling figures. Go ahead.
So you know, I got a fucked up sense of humor. So after a while, I started getting like, you know, when I first started off with Instagram, it would be, I would put a story up and it'd be like 50 people or whatever. Then all of a sudden I'm getting like 200, 300 people watching these stories. And I said, I want to see how many people actually watch my story from the beginning to the end. Because you ever notice
Yeah.
people always stop at a certain point?
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to be the biggest asshole and just put out the longest story and just see if people will follow, like something amazing is going to happen. But nothing happens except for me scooping up dog shit for like 2 hours.
I watched that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I watched it too. I watched it too.
So-
And they
And
are
halfway
funny.
through, he goes, "So I wonder how many people are going to stay on here and watch me do this."
Probably
I'm like,
about,
"Oh, well, I got to stay on now."
yeah, about 300, almost 400 people. You know, but dude, it's funny because the snow just melted, so I'm gonna have another shit shoveling story scene pretty soon.
We look forward to the sequel.
Yeah. No, I just like putting out the longest, dumbest shit and just seeing whether or not if, you know, and it's kind of funny because there's this one girl, she's super cool. And I always thought, I said, man, you actually watch my stories from the beginning to the end. And she goes, well, I never know because you always put something and it's always educational for me. And I'm like, all right. You know?
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
So now I feel like every time I watch your story, I gotta watch it from the beginning to the end, or I just hit the button real
Yeah.
fast.
What was the one when he was screaming at the neighbors out the window? That was one of my favorites.
Oh,
Yo!
I don't know, Ken. Honestly, I have so many
They had a light
stupid
on.
stories.
They had a light on.
Had the light on. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was the people. They were using a chainsaw
Yeah.
up the road at like 3 a.m,
Yeah.
and that's all I
Yo!
heard. That's all I heard. I was like, "What the fuck is going on up there, man?" And it wasn't a state truck because I couldn't see the lights flashing or anything like that. It was just like maybe dudes stealing someone's tree or something. I don't know.
Kenny, go ahead. That wasn't your question, Ken. Go ahead.
You have fished all around the world. What is your favorite place to fish and why?
Well, I worked out of the country, but the fish in the country right now, I think my favorite in my heart always belongs to Wyoming. Wyoming, because it's less people, it's less commercialized. You have, you know, the pressure on the water is not as much. The fish are fucking big, big, aggressive, wild. I mean, the fisheries are just amazing out there. And what I like about Wyoming, people in Wyoming hate other people out of every state as long as it's not in Wyoming. So they hate people from Colorado. They hate people from any other bordering states. They actually wouldn't let them get fishing licenses for a very long time,
Wow.
you know, from out of state. Yeah, dude. I'm like, wow, these dudes are pricks, but dude, they're smart because they hate greenies and shit. So, but yeah, Wyoming is probably the snowy range, fishing at 10,500 feet, 11,000 feet is probably my favorite.
Awesome.
What would the name of your life story be?
The name of my life story. Oh shit, that'd be a good one. My life story would probably be like shit happens. You know, I think everywhere I go, something fucked up happens. But also, dude, something really bad happens. But for some reason, I come out unscathed and everything's all right. I worry and I'm probably scared as shit at the time. but always at the end, for some reason, it always works out.
So we tried to record this episode with Big Nasty like 3 times in one day. So I don't remember if this is even recorded or not, but the first time I ever chilled with him, I had talked to him already for like over a year, and my phone had no service. I'm in the middle of the woods. I'm down a couple dirt roads. I'm out in the river, and my wife can't get a hold of me all day. And she's like, "Where the fuck were you?" And I was like, "Dude, I was fishing. I didn't have any service." She goes, "You couldn't have drove to somewhere to have service to call me to let me know?" And I'm like, "I wasn't in my vehicle." She's like, "So you're out in the middle of nowhere with no service in somebody else's vehicle?" Like, yeah. She goes, "Who are you with?" And I was like, "Oh, big nasty."
So, dude, that's kind of funny. I have a quick funny story. So when I first moved out to Colorado, I didn't know my next door neighbor was a young kid. He was probably like 19 years old at the time. And he somehow found me on Instagram and saw that I fished a lot. And he saw that I videotaped a deer in front of his house. So he said, "Hey, do you like to fish?" He reached out to me. I said, "Yeah." I thought this kid was older. I didn't know how old, really, I didn't know he was 19 years old. So he goes, "Oh, let's go fishing." I said, "Dude, it's snowing pretty good. Dude, there's like a foot of snow." And he's like, No, we could still go." I said, "All right." So I pick him up. He tells his parents he's going fishing with somebody up the street. We drive all the way to this canyon. Dude, no service. Like, when you're out west, you think you would have service because you're so fucking high up, or the plains are so flat. You get dick for service, right? So they're like, "Who is he with?" And they went and he gave him my name. They went on my Facebook and Instagram and instantly said, "You call him right now and you tell him to get the fuck home." Dude, they saw this dude with tattoos and all this, and they totally thought like maybe I was gonna kill their son and then fuck his corpse or something. Yeah,
Filipino cowboy.
And then years later, the mom is, always say, "Hey, come over," invites me over to eat, say, "Hey," she make me pies and gets me Christmas presents, and it's. But when they first, I guess my first appearance really isn't kind of hard, I guess, for a lot of people. But well, after they got to know, it was kind of funny though, because he had no service, just like you, and people were like, "Who's this Big Nasty dude? Like, who goes
out with Big
fishing?"
Nasty in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Andrew, you got something?
Yeah. How did you start fly fishing?
So I started steelhead fishing probably 15 years ago, and that was with a fly rod, because the fly rod gives you more opportunities and it spends your flies or your bait or whatever you want to call it more in the water than you will a spinning rod. Just by roll casting, drifting, roll casting, you're actually more productive and you have a better chance of, I think, catching a fish. So probably 6 years ago, the guy that used to guide us out of an upstate New York comes down to the Housatonic and guides. Got on a float trip with him one day. Saw the biggest hatch I ever seen. Saw the most fish I ever seen. Caught the biggest fish at that time, and I was hooked ever since. And then I just went into it head first and just started sucking up information. When I went out to Colorado, people thought I fished for 20 years. And I'm like, no, actually, I learned a lot of shit this year from meeting guys that are some of the best fly fishermen out in Colorado and Wyoming. I was very lucky enough that a lot of people, for some reason, needed to spill the beans and tell me everything, which I'd have no clue why. But, but good for me, though. You know what I mean? Met a lot of good people. So,
Kenny?
Let's see.
but no fly is better than the Whopper Plopper.
Whopper plopper till I die, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm casting one of those on my 8 weights this year.
Fill in the blank. I want to be the most famous blank of all time. If you had the opportunity to do anything you wanted to, what would you do?
If it wasn't fly fishing, because I don't want to ever think that I'm going to be the best fly fisherman, but I think I would want to be the best fabricator, like with welding, because I like to weld. That's like to make ornamental steel shit is probably my second favorite thing to do, which I haven't done in a very long time, but hopefully I get back to it.
Fuck yeah. Could you think of some type of embarrassing story about Ken from the past?
Oh shit. Embarrassing about Ken in the past. Ken, was it your dad that used to spook people on Halloween in front of the door?
Yeah.
His dad's the
That was,
best.
oh, dude, I remember he used to scare the shit out of me every time knocking on the door. He comes out in his freaking little costume, man. That was probably, but honestly, things about, I don't think there was really too many embarrassing
I'll tell you what
things
embarrassing
about
about
you.
me. My parents signed me up for Pop Warner football, right? And Jeff's already playing. It was later in the year, and we were real
Oh,
little. We were real little, and it was in Prospect, Connecticut. So I'm going to my first football practice. My mom gives me this big meal. I show up. They give me a helmet. My head's enormous, right? This thing wouldn't fit on me. So the coach had to come over and pound this thing down. So he pounds this helmet down. And they say, all right, everybody go for a run. So we're running. And all of a sudden, we did one quick hitting drill and then we're running again. And now I'm like, I don't feel good because I had this huge meal and I can't get my helmet off my head because it was pounded on. So I'm throwing it out through the helmet. And we're running again. So somebody sees the new kid. They come up behind me and they just take my leg straight. I fall down. I'm like rolling down the hill because we were running around this hill. I stop. I look up. Here comes Big Nasty Jeff Holloway, like a freight train, just buries this kid right down the hill. Friend, he goes.
that's right. That's right. No one messes with my boys.
The only reason I remember that, because I have a terrible memory, is because my mom tells it all the time.
Remember when
Maybe
Big
that-
Nasty saved your life?
Did you see his fish, Ken? What are you doing home? Jeffrey Holloway's got huge fish.
Remember he saved your life when your head was too big for that fucking helmet?
You know what was crazy? My parents didn't let me play football until I was in 8th grade. They thought I was too small. In 8th grade, I was 145 pounds. You know, and at 8th grade, I was still benching like 185, 205 or something in 8th grade. And they're like, "You're too small." And I'm like, "Come on, look at this fucking arm.
I'm fucking small, you're small, man.
I'm like, look at Kenny's out there, for God's sake."
He's still wearing his helmet.
I know. Look at the noggin on that guy.
I showed up to school next Monday in the helmet. I couldn't get it off my head.
When I first
Yo.
met him, he was wearing the helmet still.
But Kenny, do you remember our coach though? He was a a correctional officer. That dude would not stop swearing, bro, all the time. He was like F F F F F F. And I'm like, yo, this is my kind of guy. So growing up, like every time I had a coach and he was like really nice, I was just like, yo, we ain't gonna win shit. You know, like you can't win shit with a nice guy like this. You know what I mean? He's no motivator. You know.
Whose turn is it? Mine?
Yeah,
Oh, you
you
just
didn't
asked.
ask anything yet.
I didn't?
You just asked. Do you remember any stories about Kenny when he was little?
Yeah, but that's not a.
No,
Yeah,
everybody-
but we didn't
like,
know.
fucking-
I said little. I didn't know your head. You had an adult head.
In 8th grade.
It was only
We're way
one
past
reason we
10
ordered
minutes, but I
Flexfit
think
hats.
I
It
think
was
Andrew
one
to ask another question.
You know what? It was always like I think when we were kids, we were just those kids that like we were all friends, and then there was spurts where I hate you, and then
Oh,
we'd
yeah,
be
like
friends
any
again.
kids, right?
Like
Oh, yeah.
any kid,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
we would ride our bikes and be like, okay, and then like I don't know, maybe I think I made Kenny probably cry a couple times, but I'm not gonna
Yeah, like
you know,
elaborate.
you know, but
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
I think we all did when we were kids though, because we were all
Everybody
you know
made
what I
Kenny
mean?
cry.
No,
You can tell us.
We were from a very, very small town.
it was a weird, we had weird friendships, man, growing up, all of us kids,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's so weird. Then we go off in different directions come high school.
Yep.
Sure,
Then we
yeah.
go I mean, I went to two
The big-headed kid just
Yeah.
cry all the time and stuff, and then like now we're
I
on
went-
a show.
I went to two high schools. So I went to Seymour my freshman, sophomore, and then I went to Massac my junior, senior to play football.
Yeah. Ken got a lot of credit for being on the team, but it was just because that fucking helmet wouldn't come off.
They're like, oh, he's on it permanently, I guess.
I just put him on JV. I don't know. Andrew, do you have any more questions for Mr. Nasty?
What's your worst habit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that shit. But
I hear you.
It's up
at
to you.
least
I'm right
I'm
there
not
with you, brother.
yeah, as long as I'm not a crackhead, I guess, you're not wasting
Yeah.
it on, I could be a drunk or a druggie, but at least no one's perfect, man. You got to have that one bad thing you got to do in life. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know what? That's a little side note. It makes me cringe. I never even spoke to you guys about it. Is I was like every time we put out an episode, I'll watch it once just to like when I'm editing it and play it back. Is a couple weeks ago when we had Sean on, Sean the fisherman, he was talking about how he's sober. And he said, that's when I replaced my drinking with fishing or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, amen, brother. And I'm fucking taking a shot. And it literally makes me cringe when I watched it. He's
Well,
talking
this is
about defeating alcoholism and we're all fucking hammered.
hammered up. So believe it or not, I mean, it's funny because when I heard Cody talking about, and he was, they were joking around with all him doing crank and shit. So, dude, I was a big drinker, man. I was a big party animal, dude. I probably snorted more cocaine than fucking a lot of people have ever even thought that they made in 1 year. I probably did in a month. So when I was in my 30s, a lot of people don't know this story. When I was in my 30s, I had 2 severe heart attacks.
What?
And yeah, dude, I was hospitalized. I lost 30 pounds. They had to actually do they had to do whatchamacallit, 3 cardio versions to restart my to get my heart in normal rhythm. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks in St. Mary's, and then after that, I said I'm done. Quit everything.
Holy
Quit,
shit.
quit drinking for like about 6 years. And then I was working in upstate New York, which was awesome because it was only 2 hours away from Altmar, so I still had fished all the time.
Hell yeah.
And they had like 2 bars. It was a college town, so it was like 2 bars, a Pizza Hut, and a gas station. So I would get wings, and then I just started drinking again. But I knew I didn't get hammered. I would just maybe drink 1 or 2 Yinglings, and that was it. Like, I think after all that shit that happened, I realized, okay, if I drink, it's 1 or 2 beers, and that's it. And at least I have control that way.
Yeah, because even when
You
we
know?
went out, I don't think you even had a sip.
No.
I'm
And-
sitting there
and-
drinking by myself in the room.
Yeah, and like what are you drinking, ale?
I don't fucking know.
I
Probably
fucking
White
hate
Claws
ale.
or some fucking wearing a
Yeah.
skirt, laying in bed with you, eating Chinese food, drinking White Claws.
Dude, that was so funny. I'm like, are you gonna have that soy sauce?
I'm like, no, open up.
Holy
Ken,
shit.
can you please do me a favor?
Yeah.
After the Coke and heart attack story, can you please ask a fishing question?
All I can think about now is my mom called me up after this air. She's like, "Did you know Jeffrey Holloway did cocaine?"
I heard he sniffed the line off a brown trout.
Holy shit.
He was
We
sniffing
called-
Coke like it was your friend Wild Bill on my Skechers.
Yeah. Guy, you see that? He's sniffing it right off its anal fin. I'll tell-
Get your helmet off,
I'll-
Ken.
I'll tell you though, because of all that shit that happened, fly fishing did save my life though, because I literally jumped into it, like I said, head first, and it distracted me from every other bad thing. And all I did was I just had the drive. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna fish every day until I'm like just nasty as shit. Never thought about drinking, never thought about doing drugs. Plus, I'm like, fuck, dude, if I had 9 lives, I'm on borrowed time. So I probably, just spent 12 lives. So I might as well, put my attention to something better in my life, And then I would work all over the state. I fished all over. I worked all over the country. I mean, I can't complain,
Yeah, brother. That's what I was just gonna ask. I was gonna ask you about what does it mean to you to fish and stuff like that. But we'll end it like that because, like again, dude, I've said it in the last one, you'll see it, we'll put out as like a bonus or something. Your ability to teach, I mean, to read water and to teach somebody to read water. Even Joel met you that one day a couple weeks ago, and he was like, dude, that fucking dude. He's like, wait, I learned so much from him in an hour. I'm like, dude, that's why I was able to just show them a couple times, and all of a sudden I'm going out catching fish, because the ability to read water and to share your knowledge, it's like unparalleled, dude. You definitely, you could tell that's your passion, and dude, it's amazing to watch you work, for sure.
Did you hook yourself?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back of his head,
Me
his
too.
cerebellum caught a fucking, his cerebellum caught an articulated sex
Nasty Andy
dungeon.
again. Billy's like, you're the best, you're great, and he's like, yeah, but didn't you hook yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check my
I did
stories.
too, though. I did too, though.
because
I did too.
This fucking guy's got a Catchco fucking treble hook through his knuckle as he asked that question.
Dude, but I'll tell you, there's not a big difference from you guys reading structure and stuff out on a lake than it is for me when I'm out on the river. You guys know that weed points, drop off points, those are ambush points. Those are where the fish are. They're predators. You know what I mean?
Dude,
that's
forget it.
what they do.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you should look for.
What you've taught me on rivers, I fished rivers my whole life, has already, I'm telling you right now, it's improved my fishing game completely already, because this what you're looking for changes up.
Oh yeah, and then I always tell
I'm the
people,
champ.
"Oh, I don't fish the rivers when they're low." I said, "Well, you should, because you should remember every boulder, what the river
Right.
looks like. Even though no river's the same every time you put your foot in it, it's always different. It's always different. But
Oh yeah.
a lot of the bigger structure, you can remember that when the water's higher or the water's blown out, but you still be able to fish it. I mean, you'll know where all that shit is. You know, then that's how you be successful. You know." That's why I fish all year round. Nothing stops me, because I know it. I remember it, you know?
100%. 100%.
So believe me, I'm gonna catch a lot of fucking small rivers, Housatonic smallies, man. I'm just gonna target the shit out of them this year. Whopper plopper on an 8
Dude,
weight.
that's the first time we hung out. We were fucking, this guy's, like I said in the last thing, there's no such thing as this man being a gentleman fly fisherman. He'll bully you out of your fucking spot. He'll pull you out of your hole. He'll snap his fly rod catching a stalker. He's aggressive, and he fit in perfect, because as he's doing that while these guys are fly fishing, I'm fucking throwing a whopper plopper 60 yards on a spinning rod catching smallmouth. We're both screaming hooks at hoodlums on the river. Everyone fucking laughed.
That's it. That's it. There's always a method to my madness, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you're not having fun, bro, you ain't fishing. I'll
That's
tell you
exactly
that right now.
That's it.
If
Oh
people,
yeah.
dude, anything I did, football, anything I played, baseball, track, and people be all serious, I'd be like, wouldn't you rather be relaxed and have a good time? Fuck it. So what, you lose? It's a fucking game, bro. You know
What
what
do
I
you
mean?
want to be like that kid down there who can't get his helmet off, crying in the grass?
Yeah. You know, hoping his buddy's gonna freaking blindside somebody for him. I love you. I love you, Kenny.
Yeah, and the two of us also like you. So that's Fishing for Answers. Ladies and gentlemen, follow big_nasty 186 on Instagram. He does a lot of video content, shares it all on Instagram and Facebook. He's lost probably 40% of his fish because he's trying to fucking make videos for you people. So
I need
watch
a
him.
GoPro. I need a GoPro.
I got you.
No doubt.
When are you leaving?
I'm probably so I got invited to go fish 3 miles of public water in Pennsylvania. So I'm probably gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna probably drive down to Georgia, fish some private water there, and then make myself
I at least
cross
got the
to
older one
Colorado,
for you,
so-
like I said. So let's link up before you go.
beginning of April. Beginning of
Okay,
April.
yeah, no doubt.
So-
I got you
All
at
right.
least the older one, because the videos are fucking golden, man. And man, is just talk about what you're doing, man. People should pay for that shit, the knowledge that you share. So guys, don't forget to follow Big Nasty. He saved Ken's life. He got the helmet off him, and he's a hell of a fly fisherman, hell of an angler, and we love him. He looks at Hoodlum's pro staff.
we got his helmet off with icy hot.
Yeah, yeah. And now he's still addicted to putting icy hot in all types of weird places, but he loves the burn. Hooksathoodlums.com. Follow Big Nasty. Jeff, thanks, man.
That's
You're the,
it.
you're
All
the
right,
man,
brother.
brother.
No problem,
All
buddy.
right. Later.
Thanks, guys.
Later, man.
Later.
Have a good one.
Howdy. You too.